Well, I found a place to rest. There's even a chair here. I'm not gonna sit in it though. Well, I don't know what the date is, but it's Tuesday, right before Thanksgiving. Hey, I'm heading out this dirt road in the desert. I was invited to a few places. When I have family, my daughters are all grown up, and they're busy doing stuff with their boyfriends, things like that. So everybody's kind of spread out, and all my friends are up in Alaska or spread across the country. So there's really no plan. I haven't had a plan in years, and I usually spend the holidays alone, at least one of them. It used to be hard for me. I'd be in Alaska. It'd be rough, dark, and cold. And I finally got tired of that and got out of there and came down where it's a little bit warmer. And, I think there's a lot of guys and gals out there like me that that had houses and raised their kids. You're to a point in your life like me. I'm 60, and the kids are maybe grown up, maybe don't have any, and friends are spread out or very sparse. Maybe don't have any friends anymore. A few years ago, there was this thing that happened. It really split people up pretty bad. I'm happy alone. I like people in small doses. If you've watched my videos, you know that. I like to be close to towns and cities, but I like to be outside of them too for long periods of time. I like things. I like stuff. I like to stay in a nice hotel once in a while. I'm not a complete, dark person. I don't want to always talk doom and gloom. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to offer some light, not always talk about dark stuff. The one thing I would say that's happening to me lately on this trip, and I mentioned it a couple videos ago, is I'm running into a lot of down people. And I've been doing this for 25 years or more, really. But seriously, for the last 10 years, I've been out on the road full time, and it's changed. People have changed. It's really interesting how, and it's not just, I'm not talking about just complete homeless people here. I'm talking about, I see more people out now on the road, living in their cars and vans. It's been going on for a long time. There's a lot of us nomads out there. And for a long time, it was kind of just a standard amount of people out there. Now it's huge. There's many. And I talked to many new nomads, people that never thought that they would do something like this or get in their van or car, load it up, sell everything they have, and just go. And there's so many people at that point right now where it's tough. There are a lot of people right now making decisions. The economy is really down for a lot of people. I call this the Great Divide. It's, we've all talked about it. It's been coming. Well, it's here now. We're living in the Great Divide. So if you're not out there living in the technology world full time and keeping up with everything, financial world, the credit world, things like that, well, those are things that are getting more intense and more divided. There's more of us without. I don't have bad credit, but I just don't have any credit. I pay cash for almost everything. And I don't have anything. I'm a lover of having nothing too, just a light load. Look, I travel on the bike. I have 2 boxes about that big in storage, and that's all I have. So I really want to touch here with everybody, like people that have stuff, people that don't have, people that are homeless completely, living in the gutter, because you could get out, and people that are like me, pretty much treading it out here. I have work I do online, and I do other things, but I'm on the bike full time. And I used to be a dad. I'm still a dad, but I used to be, at one time I had 4 daughters, 2 stepdaughters, and my 2 twins. And we had a full house. I had a business in Alaska. And it was a pretty busy business. And I guided people on glaciers and tourism, and I did mountaineering in the early days, but I was very, very busy young man and doing a lot. And before that, a climber all the time, full time, like I'm cycling now. And climbing was my life, and still is to a certain point, but the bike has kind of taken front and center. And the bike is what I live on. What, am I a bum because I don't pay rent, or I live on a bike? Well, maybe you could look at it that way, but I don't agree with the way rent is. I've never been comfortable with paying rent. I'd love to own a piece of land more than anything. I'd like to have a base, a couple acres where I could just go hang out, but I wouldn't stay there. And the other thing about me, and I've mentioned this in other videos, is like people have been inviting me out on Thanksgiving and to visit, and I love that. I love to visit people, but I don't like staying overnight. And I don't like sleeping in people's houses, for sure. If I do stay with people, I set up my tent and I sleep outside, even if they offer me a bed, unless I'm just really burnt. And, you know, I'll take them up on a shower maybe or something like that. But I'm low impact, and I like to be the guy that wasn't there. Like, if I do sleep in a bed, I'm going to make that bed and make it look like I didn't even sleep in it. And most of the time I don't. I sleep in my sleeping bag on top, you know. And things like that. I'm just a low impact human. I try to be, as far as on families and people. I don't want to go stay with people. That's just my thing. I like being alone anyway. And I stayed alone by myself a lot of winters in Alaska and doing construction. You know, that's where I'm at with the whole people thing. It's just low doses of people. I don't want to be an impact. And that's probably why I ended up sort of semi-homeless, a nomad. And I'm out of the country a lot. And I will say, doing this out of the country is much easier than it is here. Like, I look funny sitting here in the dirt by this old chair. I mean, look at this. Check out this old chair here. It's just sitting here waiting for me, you know? So, it's things like this, you know, that are interesting. And they come up for me every day. You know, even by the highway here, there's people doing work on that new facility. I'll tell you about that later. That's a whole nother video. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos and they're doing something for you. We got a long way to go. Thank you.